David Johnson joining me here, fresh off another big performance for him and the team here on the Rich Eisen Show. How are you, David?
I'm doing good.
What's going on in your life, David? You've been married, you got a kid coming, and now you got another NFL season, right?
Yeah, got a few things going on.
Just how are you able to balance all of this, David?
With a lot of great help, a lot of supporters that's helped me out with my wife, helped me out, keeping me calm while she's being pregnant and keeping me at ease. And then, a lot of the veterans, a lot of coaches are continuing to help me grow, continuing to help me learn.
So who are you learning from the most over your first, now that you're in your first full year, I guess, as a starter in the National Football League, David?
I'd probably have to say Andre or Chris Johnson. Those two guys are probably been the biggest help, biggest influence on helping me, do what I do and learning the playbook and being comfortable with the team.
And you mean Andre Ellington and Chris Johnson, your fellow running backs in the running backs room. What has Bruce Arians been able to do for you in getting you ready for the NFL, the rigors of the NFL?
He's continuing to trust me. Sometimes I have some mental errors. Sometimes I don't do the right thing, and he still continues to rely on me to do my job, even though I might not do it to the best of my ability. He's continuing to trust me, continue to help the playbook for me, and giving me chances to help out the team.
What do you mean by mistakes that you've made? Because from the naked eye, for those of us sitting here watching you play, David, I haven't seen too many of those, to be very honest.
Well, actually, I've had a couple of big ones. Last night, one big one was the throw from Carson where it almost got picked off in the end zone. That was just a wrong route by me, and luckily the corner that was guarding me ended up not catching it. But that was just some of those big things. Some of my route running was kind of questionable on running the wrong route and stuff like that. Just some stuff that, I need to definitely get in the playbook and make sure that those things don't happen again.
David Johnson, Cardinals running back, joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. Speaking to Marshall, I've been around him and LT and even Eric Dickerson, Marcus Allen. They all talk about getting in a zone and being able to just not even really think out there, just be so instinctive. What is it like for you when you are lining up behind Carson Palmer, knowing that the play is going to be coming to you, David?
Oh, yeah, that's great. That's a good thing to hear. That they, like I said, they rely on me to do my job, and it's good when I constantly have the opportunity to do so. And so when I know I'm getting the ball, I have a lot of things going through my head. But like all those guys you were mentioning, a lot of it does come down to instinct. So once I do get the ball and make some of those cuts, make some of those runs, a lot of that does definitely come down to instincts.
Well, the player. What comparison have you heard the most when people say they remind you of this person? Because I've heard number one. There's one out there. I'm wondering if it's the same one that you've heard, David.
Oh yeah, been compared to a lot of Marshall Faulk and his great attribute to the NFL.
Okay, that's one of them. But the one I've heard most is Franco Harris, David. Have you heard that
by
one?
the coaches, yeah, by Coach Moore. Actually, he's been the one who's been telling me about him.
Oh yeah, what does he tell you about him?
He said I remind him of the way he plays, his stride and everything, and just the way he's kind of deceptively being able to be effective in the run game and the catching game and everything like that. Okay.
Now, what do you think of when you hear people comparing you to Hall of Famers, first ballot Hall of Famers?
Oh, that's obviously a great thing to hear. Just to have the respect of being compared to those guys is tremendous. But I know that I have a long way to go before I even to myself am able to compare or able to be like those guys, because those guys in the Hall of Fame have done so much, not just for 2 years, but for a long time in the NFL. And it's good to be compared to those guys, but I definitely feel like I have a long ways to go.
David Johnson, Cardinals running back, joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show, or as we refer to him on NFL Network's NFL Game Day Morning with Kurt Warner sitting on set, the best player in the history of Northern Iowa football, joining me here on the show. We give Kurt grief about that all the time, David. Have you run into Kurt at all out there in Arizona?
Oh yeah, a few times he's been out here. I got a good chance to talk to him and just reflect on how the good old Cedar Falls is and was when he was playing, and some of the small stuff that we had to do growing up.
Yeah, like what?
Like having a job in college. We both had to have a job in college. That was one of the biggest things to help us get through the summer. And yeah, I remember he was talking about he was a grocery guy. Doing grocery bags
At the Hy-Vee.
Hy-Vee, and
Yep.
at the Hy-Vee, and talking to him about my unique job that I had.
What was it?
Like asbestos removal, and then being a maintenance guy in the dorms.
Oh my gosh! So you were an asbestos removal guy and also a dorm room cleaner, David?
A dorm maintenance guy. Maintenance, fixing drawers and fixing blinds and fountains and everything.
So how has that experience, in all seriousness, how has that experience in any way helped get you ready for the lunch pail mentality that's required at your position in the NFL for somebody like Bruce Arians, David?
It's taught me, that if I want to be able to do this, I definitely have to work for it. Just seeing how those guys work to get their money and provide for their family, it lets me know that I got to come in every day, every practice, and continue getting better, learning so I can be able to provide for my family when the time comes.
Yeah, and so your wife, Megan, your college sweetheart from the Northern Iowa University, you married her in April, right? And so now she's pregnant with your son. You found out it's a boy, a masculine child that you're about to have?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
Do you have any names picked out?
No, not at all.
Okay.
This is a tough decision for us.
Okay.
I always joke around with people saying that this is probably the toughest thing I've ever had to do in my life, is pick out a name for our son, who's hopefully going to want this name for the rest of his life.
So now this was revealed on Instagram. You did not. We're watching right now a video of blue balloons coming out of a box. David, what's this all about?
That was actually a setup for one of my teammates, Drew Butler. His wife, Jackie Butler, is the one who set it all up. And what we did is we had our ultrasound that morning, and we went to the nurse, and they ended up doing the ultrasound. But we told her not to tell us. We told her to send a text to Jackie and tell her, and she was going to do the balloons in a box. And either if it was a girl, it'd be pink. Obviously, a boy, it'd be blue. And we weren't going to find out until the reveal party.
And so that's what happened, a reveal party. I like it. So is there anybody there on the team saying, how about Tyron? That sounds like a good name. Carson sounds like a good name.
Yeah.
Is that happening?
Yep, I've heard it. I've heard it all. I think every teammate, Drew, Drew Butler said it. Like you said, Ty, all those guys have been joking with me and giving me some great suggestions on names.
I like how you say suggestions. They have no shot, though, right? David, let's use the Rich Eisen show right now to tell your teammates they have no shot. Correct?
Yeah, I don't think they have a shot. It's going to try to be a name that we want. So,
well, hold on a minute.
With our opinion.
Hold on a minute, David. Chris Law has just come up with a name that sounds very presidential as well. Go for it, Law.
Yeah. What do you think about Fitzgerald Johnson?
Ooh.
It's a strong name.
That has a good ring. We'll have to see. That's a strong competitor right there. We'll have to see when the time comes.
Good abbreviation, just a Fitz?
Fitz Johnson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds like an athlete.
That might work.
Oh, no, it sounds presidential.
I'll swing it by my wife and see.
Okay, very good.
Yes.
Tell him we suggested it, okay? Tell her we suggested it, too. Your wife and Fitz. Tell him and her that we suggested it. David, congrats on the great start to your career. You have so many people rooting for you, including Taylor Lautner, who's here on the Rich Eisen show. The actor Taylor Lautner. He's got you in two of your 3 leagues, 2 of his 3 leagues, fantasy leagues. I'm sure you've heard this story before, David. You're in a lot of fantasy leagues, correct?
Oh yeah, I definitely heard that. Yeah,
okay.
I definitely heard that through social media, friends, family, random people on the streets. That's probably the biggest thing I've heard is do well for their fantasy. It might not be the win that's important to them. It's more of the win for their fantasy team.
All right. Well, David, Taylor Lautner is here on Fanatics Fan Day, chilling in the Rich Eisen Show green room. Mike, can you open up the studio speakers for Taylor? Taylor, you want to say something to David Johnson?
Sure.
Go for it. You've got David Johnson on the phone line, David.
What's up, David? Yeah, you're on 2 out of my 3 fantasy squads, so I got a lot of belief in you, and just wanted to, thank you for all your hard work. You're doing good on my team, man.
There you go, David. David, you there still?
We lose David?
Yeah, still here.
Okay, that was a
really heartfelt.
That was a field. Yeah, he's fired up for you, David. Okay, he's fired up for you. Okay, bud.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
That's good to hear.
All right, bud. You got it. Thanks for coming on the show, David. I appreciate it.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.